Alright, doing my up pipe. Got truck jacked up on blocks. Pulled my wheel. A whole lot easier to get in here. Obviously I pulled my plastic out. Right now I've got this broke loose, that broke loose. 14 millimeter. That one there is 11 millimeter. 12 millimeter 12-point socket. There's 3 here, and I've got more up top once I get to that point. Breaking this loose, take this off, and then I'll go from there. These 2 are broke free, and then I'll come back and let you know more. Alright, it's a little bit close. Sorry for that. I've already removed my heat shield from my up pipe. Remove the heat shield from my turbo so I can get to the band clamp. These here, 3 bolts on top of the heat shield there, 10 millimeters. So then go through, that's 10 millimeters. Then we'll go from there. Alright, so I forgot that when I took my heat shield off my up pipe, that I put the bolt or the nut back on for my transmission dipstick. That's got to move out of the way in order to get everything out. So I had to go back. Took me a minute to realize why, or find out why that wasn't moving. So I've got that removed, and then on to the next step. Alright, so slight sidetrack. I got the pipe loose. You can see there. That goes to the back of the turbo. Right there. Up pipe is right below that, but I had to get that loose in order to get to it. I pulled the heat shield out to my turbo and didn't really want to because I had to bend it up in order to do it. And there's the crow oil. I sprayed everything down for several days with crow oil. So far everything's come good, but behind here I was not able to get other than spraying blind. So we'll see how that goes. But in order to get that out so I can get to those bolts better, went ahead and decided to go ahead and pull the rest of my EGR out since it's going to come out anyway. So I've got it, and then tonight at work I will make block plates for here until I can actually swap this out with something better. Maybe not the proper way to do everything, but it is doing what I can do. Learn from my mistakes and do better, do worse. Alright, later. Alright, next morning. I have all my bolts broke free on that. I got these bottom 3 removed. I had to get this pipe out. It's the only way I could really get in on those other bolts on the top side. Actually, you're not going to be able to get to see them yet. But the other bolts, let me turn that flashlight back off. Sorry, I'm not a camera person. But I had to get this pipe pulled back so I could wiggle this out. So, yeah, those 3. My biggest fear was these bolts. I've got, which you can see right there. Bolt there. Excuse me, right there. One right there. And then one underneath. So my EGR cooler is gone. Pulled that out last night and made me some blocker plates. And I thought I ordered that gasket, but I didn't. So that part. The bad thing is that snapped. So when I ran my hose, put it there until I can get that swapped around. So now is to dump that out and get it back together. So, and then I'll add another section after that. Alright, so my up pipe is out. Thanks to that. I had a bolt up top on the bottom that was giving me fits. I backed out until it got tight, sprayed the crap out of it, ran it back in, and then when I pulled it back out, it slid right out, no problem. Alright, I got the new up pipe in. It's not really focusing good. It's snug on top. Got a little more gap here than I would like to. Only thing I really ran into was the new bolts that came in. They're 10mm versus 12mm on a 12-point socket. So I had to go get one. I don't know where my other one's at. So let me snug all this up and we'll start putting everything back together. We'll go from there. There's a gap on it. Put more flex on it than what I want though. Alright, ran into what I think is an issue. As far as right there, get the focus. That tab is up against my up pipe. I see it either rubbing a hole or at least vibrating. Now, making that connection there was a pain, being only one person, because I haven't had any help in this whole thing. So, but as far as getting that to go in up top, all the way up, I just put a big pry bar behind here, worked this as I kept pressure going in to slide it in. And I spray it with a little bit of PB Blaster to get a little bit of lube on it. I don't have any anti-seize, unfortunately. All that's at work. So, that's where I'm at right now. Alright, so I got everything back together. My heat shield's in, bent that back through. One thing I did forget that I just realized is my dipstick. It needs to be secured back. I forgot about that. But one thing I don't like is they didn't mention anything when I bought this about a bracket for that. But I ended up bending that tab back. I cut this little piece off here because it was hitting on that, just for my little Dremel. I've got a leak right here, so I gotta break this. It's not as tight as it's gonna go, so I gotta realign it a little bit better. Put the dipstick back on and then start it back up. Alright, so I got everything back together. I've tested it out. I still got a little leak here, but it's not much. Something I'm gonna have to go back and redo. I've got to order support for that bracket there. But overall, I'm impressed with everything, with how it turned out. It took longer because I did it by myself, but big pry bar, straps, plenty of tools. So still got to put the plastic back in, but other than that, everything's pretty good. So hope this video helps anybody wanting to do this. So total cost was right at $300. Good luck.